Hello, let's do the Netflix puzzled Starstruck and Snippets for July 18th. For Starstruck, we'll start with the easy, then do the hard. Easy is called 4 on 4. What we need to do is in each row, each column, and each colored region, we need to place exactly one star, and stars can't touch each other, even diagonally. So the first thing to notice is that the bottom row is all green, and the right column is all green. So if the bottom row needs a star, it's going to put it in green because it does no choice. And if the right column has a star and it's going to put it in green, it has no choice. The only way to avoid putting it in two greens, which isn't allowed, is to put it right in the corner where they intersect. All right, now this blue region here is going to use up the rest of the column. This red region is going to use up the rest of the column, but also this touches all three reds. The blue also gets rid of these two, but they're already gone, and the two to the left, but they're off the grid. Now this is down to 2, so we remove those, and also the 2 below it, because they would touch whatever's in indigo. Now brown is down to 2. It removes this and the 2 below it. All right. And what else do we have? Oh, this row has to place a star. It's going to place it in gray. Now red's down to 2. Brown is 2. Yellow's down to 1. That gives us indigo and brown and orange and blue and red. All right, that was they made the easies a bit more interesting. You got to kind of learn the formations and things like that. All right, Roaring Rapids is the name of hard. Oh, these staircase ones are always really hard. Let's see what we can do here. So this cell here touches all of yellow, so we can get rid of that. This sees all of blue. Is that all the gimmies we get? Sometimes there's lineups. Let's look really carefully here. Like we can check the bottom of these various zigzags. So we're expecting 4 stars. There's a lot more than 4 regions, but we know one's going to be yellow, orange, and one's going to be in brown. So we get one more in those. That doesn't help at all. Sometimes square analysis helps too. Where would we use that though? Wow, these zigzags are just crazy. I feel like this is the odd one out. I wonder if that's key. What do we do here? This is crazy. So why don't we start with this? 2 squares here. We know one of these has a star in orange. We don't know which one. And then we know that there's a star in yellow here. So there's one here, and then there's either one here or here. Whichever one has it is going to line up with yellow. Let me talk about squares real quick. The reason we use 2 by 2 squares is because wherever you put a star in the square, it's going to remove it from the rest of the square. And so you can have up to 1 in the square. Now we know this square has 1 because yellow needs 1, and that covers all of yellow. And so whichever one of these orange has a square, it's going to use up the rest of the column or the rest of the row. But I don't know which one has the star in it. But only one of them does. Well, only one of them has it in orange. We could have one in green as well. So what do we do with that information? I mean, we can split up green into 3 squares. And then we can split up brown. Well, no, not quite. Oh, no, it's not quite 3 squares. Like, I'm just kind of wondering if we can, like, tile these squares. And if that's at all helpful. I don't know. I don't know where this is going. And then we've got these guys around the corner. So the problem is we got like green escapes out of these 3, brown escapes out, gray escapes out. What would we want to do with this? So we only get two, up to two in each of these box rows, box columns. I'm trying to see if there's anything helpful here, but I'm not sure. So as soon as we put one, like let's say we put one in the here, then these would all be out. And that would force a third one here. We have 9 total stars. It would be in gray, so this would be out. I don't know what to do with this. Is this at all useful? I can split this W into 2 squares if I wanted to. If I had a fourth one here, so like let's say both of these had a star, it would have to, one of these would be in green. So the rest of green would be out actually, outside of those two. But then also these would line up. And these would line up. So brown would then be, a fifth one would be in here in brown. And then, I don't know what I'm doing. This is funny though. So blue is in one of these two. It doesn't even go anywhere, does it? Oh, these rows are done though. So these are all out. The only what if here is both of these having a square, having a star in the square. I don't even know what to learn from that, but so that means that this indigo here puts a 6th star here, so that red's out. The rest of this row is actually out, and the rest of this column is out. So blue's in one of these, so this is our 7th in blue. These are out. And so we would need an 8th here. Wait. So this is broken. If we put a star in both of these, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? Because this column needs 2. But now we would need the 9th to also be in orange. So I'm pretty sure we can't have a star in both of these squares. So one of them's empty, which is not the case I wanted. Because having it in both really limits where it goes in green. But what if there's a more fundamental thing going on here that we could use? There's something about this. It has to do with orange not being able to fill out down here. All right, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to undo all the way back, but it might be faster than redrawing. So this case is if we have it here, then we know we can't have it in here. So what does, and so then it's not here either. So green's here or here. What would we do with this? I don't want to like stack what ifs if I don't have to. I don't know if that proof did anything useful. Well, let's look at the other case then. So if this had our second one, this couldn't have any, and this wouldn't be in either. So the rest of this is out. So green's in one of these two. Is there anything else? Brown's in one of these 4. That's a bit asymmetric, isn't it? gets rid of this one because it sees them all. That gets rid of this one because it sees them all. Ooh. Yeah, I don't. I don't think this is it. We need some other way to analyze this grid. Well, okay, so we've eliminated these two because put one in here would require both of them to get used. That's what we've done. I'm sure that's it. That'll do it. Could there be a vertical lineup that I'm not seeing? Like, what about over here? We're expecting 5 stars. This is 1, this is 2. The others can escape. Well, we've got 3, 4, 5, 6 regions. So only one of them escapes. I don't know which one. To the right, we have 4. And then we don't know which 4th is in. Yeah, it's the same deal. Okay, so not there. What if we like do an almost here? No, it doesn't help. You have 1 in for sure. What are we supposed to do here? Do we start over here with this W? Like we could... We're either here or we're here. I don't see what to do with that. Okay. Is there anything I can do, like... Think about like strong positions for stars. Um, I'm lost. Completely lost. I'm gonna look really carefully at like trying to line up rows. I just don't see how that works. Like it's not just these 2 bottom rows, right? Like I've been looking at that. I just don't see how. We have 1 here and then a second one in one of these 3. Do we say like, what if it was this one? Anything in this 2x2 would get rid of all of these for lining up with yellow. So let's say we had a second one here. Then these would all be gone. And so would all of these. And so we'd need one in up here. So we'd have a third one here, which would line up here, getting rid of all of these. So we'd have a 4th one here, getting rid of those. And actually would get rid of this one as well. So those would be out, we'd place here. So instead of numbers, we can just say we're in one of these 2. We could say we're somewhere in here. And we're somewhere in here. Okay. So somewhere in here does all of this in this 4. Oopsie. It puts it somewhere in here. What are you supposed to do with this info? These line up, so we'd have it somewhere in here. And now we'd have one in one of these, which gets rid of that one. So that places one of these two and this one. Those line up. There's a lot that happens with that. Something to do with these restrictions and lining up and everything. I don't know if I placed this in indigo or gray. Oh, I placed it in gray because all the other gray is gone. So we placed it in gray. Oh, actually, no. This eliminates all of gray because we placed this guy a while ago, actually. So there's no gray left. So that doesn't work. So we can say that these are out. So all of that for that. I need to target something that's going to actually help, but I don't know what's actually going to help. What if we put it in this square? These would be out. We'd obviously have one. We always have one in this yellow. These would be out. Oh no, we don't know if it's green or gray. But we do know that it places here, right? If we don't have it here, it's placed here. That's kind of the point. So we're always with these out. And now it could be here. That's the thing. Do we just focus on the gray to start with? We could focus on this gray to start with because then it would force it there at least. So if we're in here, this is out. This is out. And these are out. So we're in one of these 3 greens, which does line up vertically. So all of these are out. And then we're in one of these browns. So that one's out. Actually, this whole row's out, both rows. And now do we stall? Oh, no. Oh, indigo could be right here. No, it can't. I just didn't mark it. So indigo's now in one of these. There's something to do with this staircase here, the pattern that happens. It keeps happening, and I don't quite understand it. But that, you see how they like get each other. So these are out, and this is out. So we can actually just say, we're now down to these 2, which gets rid of those. And now blue has nothing. There's like a weird cascade here. But that got rid of these 3. Right? No. Hold on. What did we say? We said one of these grays, right? We said one of these grays. So those aren't in. And that means gray's in one of these 3. So that's out, and that's out, and that's out. But I feel like a lot of this is just somehow cascading from having it here and here, getting rid of all of these. There's something about this. It actually forces now, it forces one of these 2. So we'd be here and here. So actually the only way we have these 2 squares now is if it's there and there. So let's just say we have this one and this one. No, wait, that's no good. Hold on. Oh, wait. Hold on. Right. So if we're up here, this is out. And that doesn't work anymore. It touches all of them, right? It sees all of them. So actually, we're in the state right now where placing a star in one of these two greens. We need a star in these two another star in these two columns somewhere. We put it in the greens. These are out. This star is placed. It eliminates these, and these are out because we now have the two here, right? The only other option is to put it somewhere in these oranges, which also puts those out. And so we've just proven that these are out, which puts it in one of these, which lines up with yellow. So those are out, but also it touches this one, or it sees this one sees all three. So yellow's in this top row. Is that progress? Green's in this row. Oh no, it's not. It could be here. Gets rid of this one and this one because this one also touches this green. Okay. Really whittling this down slowly. Gray's in one of these three. We know that already, but it lines up with the green now. No, it doesn't. It could be here. I keep not seeing that. What else can I do? So we know we're here. We know we're here. I'm actually gonna draw that so that I can keep track of it better. So we have one there and one there. And one of these. These two would force this one and that one. This one doesn't do a whole lot of forcing. Well, it forces one of these two. Okay, so we know that there's going to be a star. So let me just outline it better. There's going to be a star somewhere in here. Because if there wasn't, then both brown and green would need to place up here. And we can't do two in the same row. So since there's a star in there somewhere, we know the rest of those two. Oh my gosh, what happened? We know the rest of these two rows can't be in. And so because there's only one here because it lines up with the orange, there's also one in these three, which gets rid of those two. I don't know how you do this without a pen. Luckily, it's a pencil puzzle, so they could use better notation system though in this somehow. So what are we doing with this guy? I think that's been there. I just didn't highlight it. It has been there. Okay, how do I grow from here? What's gonna do it? What's gonna do this? I'm just thinking about how this one would place that one. The only way to have something down here is to place a star in this brown here. And then this down here. Okay, so I guess one thing we can say is these almost line up. If they line up, then we get rid of all these. If they don't line up, there's a star right here, which gets rid of that one. And because of the lineup, actually gets rid of both. What am I saying? If they don't line up, we don't place that, that, or that. Or that, or that. Oh, wait. This doesn't work. Hold on. Why doesn't that work? There's got to be a direct reason. Oh, okay, so it's a little convoluted, but either of these greens, if you were to put a star in it, would eliminate both of these browns because it lines up with orange. In fact, it just places this orange. That's a good reason, right? Any one of these two greens places this orange. It gets rid of those two. This green also gets rid of this one. So this one's never in. And so as a result, we're in here somewhere, which lines up with that gray. So these are out. Is there more like that? place this brown, we have to place that green. All right, what else can we do? What did getting rid of these do? Oh, so now we're down to this indigo. It's this cascade that I kept seeing, which is actually true now. Gets rid of the rest of the row. And now blue is in one of these two. Still haven't placed a single star, by the way. It gets rid of these. Oh, my first star is in red here, which then gives me indigo and gray and green and brown and orange and yellow and blue and dark orange. And there we go. Solved in 24 minutes. What the heck? I don't know how I could, like, that felt insane. I liked the way I approached it. I don't know that it was the most efficient way. I tried to find lineups, I promise. But yeah, these zigzag ones are crazy. Whenever you see the zigzags, you know you're in for a long time. All right, well, let's move on to snippets. A nice cleanser at the end of that. It's called rewind. Okay, this 6 is just going to have to do all 6 of these. That's just clear. This is taken by that 3 or that 3. This could be taken by the 5 or it could be taken by the 4. So it has 2 choices there. But either way, it's going to use these 2 up. But I don't know what to do about that. What else do we have here? This 3 here can't go down, so it takes those 3. So who takes this one? Oh, the 5 just does that. Okay, right. So now this 4 could go this way. Actually, I think it has to. It has nowhere else to go. So this 4 does that. This 4 does that. This has to be used by the 2. This 3 could go up or left. This 3 could still go either way. What's actually limited here? I'm starting to think it's 3, 3, and 3. Hold on. If I do 3, 3, 3, so this top part here, this. Wait, who uses this one? Maybe that's the question. This one can't be taken by that 2 or that 2 or that 3. So this one's taken by this 3. So we're not doing 3, 3, 3. So this 3 can't go down here. So that has to do that. And now this 3 has no choice but to do that. This 3 has to go up. Oh, who's taking that one, though? Hold on. This one can only be taken by this 3, can't it? No, it can be taken by this 3. Okay, I think I just proved it has to be... Wait. No, it can't be taken by this. This one has to be taken by this 3. This one has to be taken by this 3. Because it doesn't have anything else to take it. Which means this bottom corner has to be taken by this 3. Oh, no, the 3 could go up like this. Okay. So maybe this 3 goes across. Let's see. How do we tell... Yeah, this bottom corner here can only be taken by this 3 now. And this we know is taken by the 3, so it has to go up. This 2, 2, 3, and 2. There we go. All right, at least I got a logical solve on it. That wasn't easy to vibe, I don't think. I mean, obviously one thing you can do is just try one of them one way, see it breaks, then try it the other way. All right, well, a little faster than the hard Starstruck. How'd you do?